Hey there guys, it's me, that fish guy, and today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a very long time, which is a sneak peek review video. The last couple years, Spirit hasn't really been producing sneak peeks, and so I wanted to bring these back because it seems like they're off to a good start this year. So the video shows a lot of different tombstones featuring the names of various props that we can expect this year. And I'm just gonna look at the ones that they posted though. There's like a bunch of different audio in there and like Crypt Keeper's coming back and maybe Lunging Lily. Before I begin with this, I do wanna say I have a list of the props right here because there are 15 new animatronics that I have to talk about and there's not any pictures of them or anything, so I can't really review them very well. But I do want to talk about their names and their descriptions and speculate and the prices. So to begin, we have the 6.6 foot Black Heart, and she comes in at the price of $300. So the description for this one is very bizarre. It doesn't really mention anything specifically about her other than that her name is Ava. It's kind of implied that she might be like some sort of vampire or like a witch prop. I'm curious to see what she does because $300 is a hefty price, but she is almost 7 feet tall. And then the next animatronic on the list is the 3.9 foot Coldness, and this one's price is very concerning. It's $280 and it's only 4 feet, and the description kind of makes it sound like one of those generic SVI cauldron witches that like Home Depot makes 30 of each year. So I don't have too much hope held out for that one. But who knows, maybe it'll do something revolutionary. For that price, I'm almost hoping it's like some sort of Mr. Dark reskin because $280 is a lot for a 4 foot prop. So then, this one was really kind of a shocker. The Creepy Rising Doll is returning. We did hear her laugh in the previous teaser, the Halfway to Halloween one. I think the biggest shocker for me is that she's still the same price, so she is still $230. Which back in 2015 seemed like ridiculous, but now after years of insanely overpriced animatronics like Mr. Punchy at $280, Creepy Rising Doll, a 7 foot prop for $230 with 4 animations, it seems really good. The only kind of concerning thing about Rising Doll is that she's online only. I'm not really a big fan of that. I wish they would have brought her to stores. Especially because she's kind of gray and like creepy, and she fits that sort of cemetery aesthetic, even if the prop itself, like the doll, the idea of the doll doesn't really fit the cemetery, but the prop itself, like the aesthetic that it gives off, fits the cemetery. So I'm not sure why she's online only. So then we have Dagger Mike. I didn't catch the height on this one, but I think it's like 5 feet. And he's $170 and it's some sort of clown prop. It's not one that I'm very interested in just because Spirit keeps pumping out more and more clowns, but maybe they'll get me with this one. I'm thinking it might be like some sort of sword swallower, which would be really cool, but we'll have to wait and see. So then we have the 7 foot Darling Dolly, who comes in at the hefty price tag of $280. The description for this one is really interesting. It kind of makes it seem like she's going to be some sort of like human possessed by a doll or like some sort of like doll monster. Obviously the story for these props are not, they're not the best, because I mean, if anybody remembers like Evelyn Leach's story, it talked about her husband working at like a sawmill or something, and if you just looked at the description for that prop, you never would have guessed what the prop actually does or what it looks like. But assuming that the descriptions kind of hint at what these props do, I'd assume this is some sort of human doll monster, so this one I'm really interested in. Then we have the 7.3 foot Death Stalker, and this one is online only, and it comes in at the price of $280. What's interesting is the tombstone has like these like claw marks, so it kind of suggests it's like a werewolf or something, but then the description makes it sound like it's a demon. It almost sounds like some sort of like Freddy Krueger prop, but not like officially licensed, like they couldn't get Warner Bros. To agree with them, because it talks about him like stalking your dreams and haunting your nightmares and being around every corner. So I'm curious to see what they do with this prop. And it's also weird that it's online only, because if it is like some sort of werewolf or like monster prop, that's kind of like perfectly suited for a cemetery. as opposed to like the sword swallowing clown or like some of the like 5 other clown props that we're going to get to. Then we have 6-foot Desmodius, and the description and the tombstone suggests this is some sort of like vampire bat monster, and he comes in at the price of $220. I actually really like this one. This is probably the one I'm the most excited for because the price seems reasonable for modern Spirit. The description does specifically mention it's like if you're a human, you think you're going to be okay because you walk upright. So maybe it's some sort of vampire that's hanging upside down. I was thinking it might be like a bloodthirsty Betty reskin, or maybe even like a possessed wall hanger reskin where it's hanging upside down, like climbing the wall. I'm very curious to see what they do with this one because it sounds promising. Then we have one of the cheaper props on here, the 3-foot Eternal Rest, and it comes in at $140. So the description makes it sound like it's going to be like one of those weeping woman statues where they put, you know, like the bride like holding the tombstone and she's made out of stone. And I hope that's what she is, because $140 is a nice price, but for some reason I kind of think it's not going to be very good for that price, given that Tombstone Terror was $120 last year and it was like one of the worst props Spirit has ever made. But we shall see for Eternal Rest. So then we move on to a really shocking one, which is Gravewatcher came back, and now they're officially non-binary according to Spirit's description, which is kind of interesting. But Gravewatcher comes in at the price of $80. So they're not really a flashback prop that I think anybody was asking for. Maybe Maria Cisneros Toth, based off her 2013 Spirit Halloween video.
I really like her and want her, but they have the zombie girl on the swing.
But I don't think anybody was really wanting Gravewatcher back, but they brought them back anyway. So I'm curious to see what it's like, if the new one has any changes or anything. I definitely would have preferred almost any other 2013 prop, but that being said, I mean, you know, they still look pretty creepy. And then we have another clown, 6-foot Heckles, and he is $280, and his description mentions like poisonous balloons. I'm not really excited about this one, especially for $280, because I think it's going to be like a side-to-side clown, as we saw with like Mr. Punchy or like any other like $280 clown props. They don't really put much effort into them. And it mentions balloons specifically, like the poisonous balloons. I don't know how they're going to convey that the balloons are poisonous without him specifically mentioning that they're poisonous. And we saw them try to do like the toxic gas thing with nozzles last year, and it failed horribly. So I'm curious to see if they're able to do this one right, but either way, I don't think it's one I'd be interested in picking up. So then we have the 4.9-foot Hellspawn, which is $330. That's an absolutely insane price, but I do think this might be a Mr. Dark reskin. In the video specifically, we see this like ghoul gargoyle looking thing that has its hands out like this. And I think that might be what Hellspawn is. And maybe it like lunges up like Mr. Dark. Let's hope so, because if it's like a 5-foot prop for $330, then that's going to be ridiculous. And then we have another Leatherface. So if you didn't know, Party City is making a Leatherface and Lowe's is making a Leatherface. It's kind of been like all over in the news. And what's interesting about those two Leatherfaces is that they chose the classic yellow apron, bloodied, you know, arms out design. And Spirit chose the Pretty Woman design, which is based off like the end of the film. So it might be interesting. The thing that concerns me about this prop is it's $350. So we don't know the price for the Party City one yet, but we do know the price for the Lowe's one, and it's only $280, which, you know, is still kind of a lot given that it's Mr. Punchy as Leatherface. But it's a decent price compared to this. So I'm hoping for $350, this prop can really rival those guys. Like maybe it'll have like the chain actually moves in the chainsaw, which is something that I don't know why they haven't done in any chainsaw props since Leatherface. And maybe he'll like swing the chainsaw up or something. I'm just hoping he does something to make him worth $350 because it's absolutely ridiculous. Then we have Poor George. I also don't have the height for this one. All I remember is that it's supposed to be like a half-bodied hanging clown prop. I'd assume it's like a hanging Hellfiend reskin where it like, you know, sits up on the corner of your room and then it pops down. It's not one I'm interested in. I'm just getting tired of all the clowns, and it seems like they're turning everything into clowns now. Like this prop didn't really need to be a clown. But I mean, we haven't seen it yet, so maybe it'll be cool. So next we have the 7-foot slim prop from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This one really disappointed me because I was hoping we would get like any movie other than Killer Clowns from Outer Space for another animatronic, given that we just recently got the Shorty prop, and for some reason they're making another one, and he's $400, which is absolutely insane. And it's also kind of suggested that he's made by PT, so I don't have much hope for this prop. I mean, the clowns are getting really out of hand here. And then for the final prop, we have Stilts, which is another clown. Kind of weird because we're already getting another, like, one clown on stilts that's being produced by Lowe's. And this one is $350. And I mean, is it the same one that's at Lowe's, but like with a different skin or something? I'm not very hyped about this prop. I'm getting really tired of the clowns, like, seriously. I mean, there's so many clowns at this point. In the last 3 years, I think we've had 25 clowns at Spirit Halloween alone, and they just keep producing more and more. So, yeah, I'm not very excited about this animatronic, but I hope it's good for those who are. And so that concludes this video on the new props that they've released. This obviously isn't going to be every prop this year because they still haven't shown Crypt Keeper. It's suggested that Lunging Lily's going to come back, so they also have her. So that might be her in the video that we hear, and we haven't seen her, obviously. So there's still lots of room for more props to be added. There's already a big list of props as is, so I'm curious to see how many more they add for their 40th anniversary season. Thank you guys for watching.